Hi everyone. So if you've been paying attention, like I have, or paying attention to any of my videos, you will know that there's a bit of a storm both sides of the Atlantic at the moment. So if you look at the way, you know, it is kind of backfiring on them at the moment, because so many people are coming out actually in defense. Although there is so much noise, it really has brought this question to the fore. And they are fighting back. The Israel lobby are. The Democratic Party's throwing of Ilhan Omar under the bus, says Jeremy Scahill, is an unfortunately unsurprising disgrace. And the reason I picked this is because it really did describe it quite well, I think. She raised entirely legitimate concerns about US support for the murderous apartheid government of Israel and the subservience of US politicians to the agenda of foreign power. It's an important tweet. Stay on message. You know, stay on murderous apartheid government of Israel. Keep saying the words. You know, the left are really crap at messaging. The right are great. You know, it's almost as if they get their buzzwords. You look at the way the Republicans act. They get their buzzwords, and next thing you know, they're all on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all saying the same thing. This is what we got to do. Keep hammering away apartheid government. Apartheid government, genocide, slow-moving genocide, human rights violations of innocent Palestinians, of Semite Palestinians. Keep making the point and keep on message. If we lived in the same society, Jeremy Scahill says, these politicians who promote the Israeli government, even as it slaughters Palestinians and cozies up to its lobbyists, would be the focus of investigation and condemnation. Instead, they attack the woman who bravely calls it out. And he finishes off, what she is doing, taking major destructive US foreign policy with refreshing honesty and clarity, is dangerous in Washington, D.C. She's going to face the full force of both parties because of this. She is a rare voice and deserves our defense. It's going to be ugly. Hear, hear, Jeremy Scahill. Hear, hear. Dan Cohen said this: the fake anti-Semitism controversy over Ilhan Omar is not only about persevering apartheid Israel's stranglehold over US politics. Omar has emerged as the lawmaker most critical of US foreign policy from Venezuela to Yemen. Muzzling her is about protecting the US empire. There are broader points here, is what he's making. And Glenn Greenwald points this out brilliantly as well. Contrary to the ugly and bigoted implication that Julia Ayoff tried to spread about Ilhan Omar, the Congresswoman has repeatedly attacked US support for Saudi Arabia and said that it's due to Saudi money influencing DC. For some reason, that created no controversy. And that's a great point that he's made there. Because Chris Williamson over here, Ilhan Omar over there, they attack Saudi Arabia as well. They attack Saudi Arabians' policies and Saudi Arabians' influence over politics in both countries. Do you hear any of them, any of the people calling those people anti-Semites? Do you hear any of those people calling them Islamophobes or, you know? Of course they're not. Of course they're not being anti-Muslim or anything like that if they're calling out Saudi Arabia or anti-Islam or it's none of that. But it's only with the anti-Semitism because they're talking about Israel. Can you see the dual standard here? There's a dual standard. Keep highlighting it and keep pointing out. I just want to make a point of this because this is the sort of thing that's happening in America, and I've seen some of it happening over here as well. Some similar stuff, because the left, it's the left here, or the so-called left. They're not the left. They're neoliberals. They're centre-right, and they've got some social policies which drags them towards the centre. That's what it is. If you look at their foreign policy, if you look at their policy with regards to big business, if you look at their policies with regards to tax and government, etc., they're centre-right. These neoliberals are. These centrist Democrats and these Blairites over here. And these are the people who are now attacking people like Chris Williamson and Ilhan Omar as being anti-Semitic. Now, what's happening there as a result is crazy people from, well, I'd say they were from the far right. They're not from, just crazy people from the other side, I'll call them. They're not far right. Who are racist, actual racists, are now using this to attack Ilhan Omar with pictures like that. This is at a GOP meeting for Act for America. This is a proper GOP thing. Just look at that poster that was just sitting there. Never forget, you said, with a picture of the Twin Towers, and underneath, I am the proof you have forgotten with a picture of Ilhan Omar. They're joining in. You've got people defending racist actions, right, by actually screaming racism at people who are anti-racists. And then you've got actual racists from the right joining in, screaming anti-Semite and racism at them. And if you zoom out on this picture, you see what I mean, and you see just what the problem is. This is the zoomed out. Look at it. All Trump, it's all Pence. They're joining in. Now, I don't know who put that there, but you can see the problem here. And it could really spin out of control if they keep carrying on with this dangerous rhetoric in labelling anybody who criticises Israel as an anti-Semite. They're not, and it's bloody dangerous is what it is. So, I've covered Ilhan Omar and her plight in America. And I went over the anti-Semitism row going on over there at the moment. But it's happened over here as well, obviously. And it's happened with this guy, Chris Williamson. And he has been ejected from the party. Well, suspended from the party because what they're doing is they're investigating what they're calling here a pattern of behaviour. Now, I'm not sure what they're looking at here with a pattern of behaviour, but I've been paying pretty close attention to Chris Williamson over the last year because he's been great. He's been great on Syria. He's been great in Saudi Arabia. He's been great on Russia. He's been great on it. He's been great on any number of progressive things that progressives hold dear. So that's the pattern of behaviour that they're looking at. It's this progressive pattern of behaviour that they're looking at, and that's what they want to get rid of. Like I said, this is a purge of progressives. And he, remember, over there, just where my hand is disappearing, Jeremy Corbyn, he's the target. You know, he's the guy who represents the largest socialist movement in Europe. He's the guy. They've got to get rid of him. Because if he does come to power, then the MPs are going to lose their power. They're going to lose their seats. And it's all over for them. This is why they're attacking it. We never, ever forget why they're doing this. Obviously, when Chris Williamson was suspended and obviously all the media jumped on board and were totally misrepresenting the situation, Tom Watson obviously took to the airways on his show on LBC, and a guy called him up. Now, I can't show this because the last time I showed LBC, I got my rap knuckles, even though I'm using it for fair use. But this guy called him up and basically said that he was killing Labour from within and gave him a severe dressing down for 3 minutes. Do you know what Tom Watson's response was to this guy calling him up and going at him for 3 minutes, saying you're eating Labour from within and you're helping the Tories and you're not representing the people, you're representing it? Do you know what his response was, Tom Watson? He said, how many anti-Semites would you like in the Labour Party? That was that shithead's response. And if you call them out on it, they've got nothing. Nothing. No response, nothing. Which is indicative of why I say journalists in this country are so crap at their jobs. Because people from the street can call these guys out and our journalists can't. It really is a joke. I'll give you an example of how ridiculous it's got. I honestly, I'm shocked at this. Let me just move this to the side so you can see it properly. But this shocked me. It really did. Because another Labour MP Siobhan McDonough, has said this on Radio 4. To be anti-capitalism is to be anti-Semitic. Okay. All right. And this is why I say, just stay on message. Eventually, they do things to just shoot themselves in the foot, these stupid people do. In an interview with BBC Radio 4, this is from Nyberven News, by the way. In an interview on BBC Radio 4 this morning, Labour MP for Mitcham and Morden, Siobhan McDonough, made the link between anti-capitalists and anti-Semitism. When she asked if the Labour Party are taking anti-Semitism seriously, she replied, "I'm not sure that some people in the Labour Party can actually take it seriously, because it's very much part of their politics, of hard left politics, to be against capitalists and to see Jewish people as the financiers of capital." Do you see what she just did there? She just equated people who are successful in capitalism with Jewish people. In other words, Siobhan McDonough just said something that was anti-Semitic. It's so easy to do. They tie themselves up in knots. Because they haven't got the argument to stand on. They haven't got a leg to stand on with the argument. They'll tie themselves up in knots and end up making stupid mistakes like this. She was then asked, in other words, to be anti-capitalist, you have to be anti-Semitic. And she replied, but clearly then starts to backtrack. Yes, not everybody, but absolutely. There's a certain strand of it, and these people are not. So it's not all of them. She's saying it's not all of them. John Humphrey then asked, don't they become Labour when they join the party? Her reply, not as far as I can see it. I believe that the Labour Party has a very strong set of values related to how we see society should be run and about being anti-racist, which they cannot be part of. Why not? Why can't anti-capitalists be anti-racist? Is it because you're being anti-Semitic, Siobhan? McDonough then mentioned Formby refusing to release the figures of anti-Semitic incidents, which she already has done. I've seen this argument, they're saying, oh, Formby hasn't released it. She's already has. And then we went on to criticise her for saying answers to the NEC, not Labour MPs. And obviously she praised Tom Watson. And this is the sort of crap that is going on right now. This is the sort of ridiculousness that is going on right now. In my mind, at least, when you actually look at everything that's going on at the moment, both in America and over here, it's a war on progressive values. It's a war on progressive voices and voicing, progressive views both in the House of Commons and in politics over in America. Now, all of us, it's all of our responsibility to be loud and as clear as possible about this. Because obviously you've seen how loud the propaganda has been. It's been absolutely overwhelming. It seems like you can't hear your voice heard. But we have all got to shout, all of us. Send a letter, write an email, do a video. Whatever you've got to do, attend a CLP. Whatever it is, attend it, do it. We've got to shout and scream and make our voice heard. Because this really is an attack on progressives. And we need to hammer home our message here. And we need to be really clear about it. This has got nothing to do with Judaism and Jewish people. And for them to even make out that it is in itself anti-Semitic. Because then they're saying that all Jewish people support Israel. And that is obviously anti-Semitic. And so keep pointing that out as well. Keep pointing out that Palestinians are Semites. Therefore, if they want to talk about anti-Semitism, fine, let's talk about it all day. Let's talk about Israel's anti-Semitic treatment of Palestinian Arabs, shall we? This is what you do. Stay on message. Keep attacking Israel as an apartheid state. Keep calling it in. Every time you mention Israel, preclude it with the words, apartheid state of Israel. Hammer your point home. Keep attacking politicians like the ones I've just mentioned, back home, and if you're in America as well. Keep attacking them. Keep on their case. Politicians who are paid to support Israel's crimes, let's face it, and to sweep these crimes under the carpet and act like it's nothing. They're paid to do it. Keep attacking them over it. Keep bringing up Joan Ryan and her £1 million junkets with Shai Massot to the Israel. Keep bringing it up. Keep bringing it up that Joan Ryan, wrongly accusing somebody else of anti-Semitism and getting them suspended and then facing no disciplinary action herself for lying and getting another member suspended. Keep bringing these things up. Keep ramming them home at every single opportunity you have, but stay on message. Keep pointing out how idiotic and stupid their arguments are. And keep pointing out that if you really want an example of a foreign country meddling in our elections and messing about with democracy, both in America and the US and the UK, tell them, don't look at Russia, don't look at Putin, look at Netanyahu, look at the Likud Party, and look at Israel. Because that's where it's coming from. And for God's sake, when you are on point and you are accused of being an anti-Semite, which it's going to happen. It's going to happen. For God's sake, don't apologise. Keep your mouth shut and do not apologise. Don't even say, if other people have taken offence, then I apologise for that. That's just as bad. Because the headline is, Chris Williamson apologises, MP apologises for anti-Semitic slur. It's in the headline then. You're playing into their hands. You're playing their game. Don't play their game, play yours. And remember, above all else, there's a reason why you're seeing crap like this right now. There's a reason that you're seeing stuff from the Washington Post. There's a reason you're seeing stuff from the Democrats doing these resolutions in the Senate to try and quell people's opinions with regards to this. They're bloody scared is what they are. They're bloody scared. For more truly honest, independent media like the video you just saw, please subscribe and click the bell below as well so you get a notification of when I drop further videos. If you also like and share and comment on the video as well, that really helps with the algorithm and boosts exposure. And if you can support me, please do so. You can do with any of the avenues on the screen at the moment and below this video. You can support me for as little as $1 a month on Patreon, and every dollar helps. We need your support at the moment. We do not have an operating fourth estate. I'm sure you're aware a functioning media holding power accountable is vital for democracy. At the moment, we haven't got it. So people like me are having to fill their shoes and do the job for them with your support. Thanks very much for your support. Till next time. Peace and take care.